Hello everyone, Kirby Heck here. You guys will know me as one of the co-hosts of the Shared Minds podcast. So a little bit nervous today, if I'm going to be honest. So I'm doing a solo series. So we're going to call it Shared Minds Mini. So this is not to say that the Shared Minds is suddenly ceasing to exist. The episodes with me and Liam and our guests will still function as normal. Underqualified and oversharing will function as normal. But so me and Liam, we realized that we love helping people, and it's the reason why we started the show. But we love helping in different avenues. Whereas during Liam's OCD and during his bad episodes, I loved helping and bringing him back up and inspiring him to be someone that he could be. And it's something that I just absolutely loved doing. I love helping people become better than what they are. Like, I feel like I can see people for who they're going to be, not who they are. So that's a passion that I really have to try and help people. Whereas Liam, on the other hand, when he was going through his really bad OCD, one of the few things aside from me that helped him through was comedy. So listening to comedy and stand-up comedians, and the laugh took him out of his head temporarily for just even 5 seconds. But that was enough relief in his day that he needed. So we're still going, and hence why we created Shared Minds Media Company. So we're no longer just the Shared Minds podcast, we're Shared Minds Media Company. So Liam, if you've probably seen the Instagrams, Liam does his very funny, but what's the word I'm looking for? Speaking without control, talking heads, where he just blabs, and the stuff he says is just so funny, and people find it funny, and the messages that we get from that are people just literally saying, thank you for getting me out of my head. So that really inspired me to start pursuing the thing that I love and the reason that I started the podcast. So that's why we're here. So welcome to Shared Minds Mini, because I know that a lot of you don't have 90 minutes sometimes to go and listen to an entire Shared Minds episode, and I understand that, like, everyone gets busy, but there's a lot of takeaways in there that get flown over just because they're so long. So my plan is 15-minute episodes, short, sharp, to the point, because ultimately I do want to end up in the career of helping and inspiring and coaching people. I look up to people like Tony Robbins, who is out on stage talking to hundreds of thousands of people and just rallying them up and just getting them to go. And then people like even Steve Harvey, he inspires crowds before all of his shows. And I can just see myself on that stage just inspiring and helping. So that's what ties in today's episode, I guess. The pilot one, the first one, is, I'm going to title it, Believe 100% or Don't Bother. Now, I know that can sound a bit blunt and a bit on the nose, but when we break it down and we think about it, it's quite true. Like, I don't know how many times in life you've started something, you haven't had a plan, you've thought, this will be great. I'm going to start running. I'm going to be a runner from now on. And then you get the nice shoes, you get the kit, you kind of jog before work and you go for one run. You go, oh, that was nice. And then you do it for about a week. And then one day it rains and you go, no, I'm not even going to go and do it. And then it gets to the next day. You go, oh, I didn't do it yesterday. I'll do it today. And then next thing, you're suddenly not even running anymore. So a lot of things in life, I believe that you have to commit 100% to it. And it's not even I say I believe. Everyone knows this, but no one wants to really hear it sometimes. So I'll tell you a story while I've got you here. So the Shared Minds podcast, as most people would know, started... Well, actually, probably not a lot of people know, because this is only stories that we told very, very early into the show. So it's been going for almost a year now, and I can't believe how fast that time has flown. And how it started was me and Liam had the idea of now is time to start the podcast. Now is time to start the show. And I remember we recorded one in my parents' basement, and we had a plug-in USB microphone into a computer, and we had our iPhones recording, and we just dropped a chair in the middle of the room, and it looked horrible. It sounded even worse. But then after it, we went, there's something in this. And I went to Camera House It's a store in Robina that sell like all the camera equipment stuff. And I remember just walking in, going to check out prices. And it's something I'll touch on later on in the series, like believing in God or the universe or the will or the way or what will happen is meant to be. But I don't actually remember like walking into the store, buying the equipment. The only thing I can remember is leaving. Like, I know it sounds really weird, but I literally walked in and something took control of me and I left with $3,000 worth of equipment. Why? I don't know. I didn't particularly have that money to spend. I know for a fact that Liam didn't have that money to spend because he let me know afterwards that he didn't have that. But nothing was going to talk me out of that was the bad idea. And I left with all the new shiny equipment. And I was 100% in at that point. I went, I've just spent $3,000 on all this stuff. There's no way that this isn't going to work. And we were just so dedicated and so committed straight off the bat. We knew it was going to be great. We knew it was going to reach levels, and like the way that it's gone already, we are so thankful that it's taken off at the pace that it has. And we knew it was always going to be there, but we didn't think it was going to happen as fast as we originally intended. But the reason being is that we believed 100%. Now, I'm not saying commit 100%. I'm saying believe 100%. So even from the beginning of the show, we believed and we saw that this is the way, this has purpose. This is going to help the people that we've always wanted to help. And so we kept working our jobs for a little while. And then it got to about 4 months down the line, and every waking minute was spent thinking about the shared minds, how we can grow it, the guests that we're going to get, the levels that we're going to reach, the people that we're going to inspire and meet. And when I quit, it was in late January. I just remember I went, I've got to give it all to this. And to this day, I still couldn't tell you why I felt that or why I thought that. But I know Liam was the same because he quit a week later. But there was a feeling in the gut that just, and like we laugh about this now where we look back and we go, what were we actually thinking? Like it's actually, like everyone looking at us would have thought that we were absolutely crazy. And at the time, it didn't faze us. We just went, we believe that this is going to work. And we had so much belief and so much faith that this idea was going to change the world. And I saw a quote the other day and it said, don't doubt that a small group of committed individuals can't change the world because they're the only ones who have. And I just thought that was brilliant because you think about everything in life, all these little things that happen, or like, well, not the little thing, even the big things. Like you can argue, oh, but wars change nations. Yeah, but who incites these wars? Who's the people pulling the strings? It's a group of 4 or 5 people that are actually behind almost everything. Like, the Wright brothers, the guys that invented the first airplane. I can't remember the specific details of the story, but they were going up against like NASA or something like that, a huge company that had so much money, and they were hiring the best scientists. And I remember like hearing the story, the lead scientist, he wanted to invent the first airplane because he wanted to be the guy who invented the airplane. He wanted it for the fame and the fortune and the riches it was going to bring. The Wright brothers were just guys that owned a push bike store, and they were just riding around on their push bikes, and they went, if we can invent flight, think about how that's going to change the world. Think about the lives that's going to inspire. Imagine being free and being able to soar around in the air. And look who did it first. The guys that believed 100% in the things that they were going for, and they were 100% committed to their cause, and they did it first. And I know you've probably heard this all before, saying that nothing great happens if you're unsure, but it's right. Like there's this simple analogy. If you've got like targets and you've got a bow and arrow and you've got to aim for the target, if you don't know which target you're aiming at, you're never going to hit it. If you've got one at the end and you're looking at that one and all of your attention goes onto that one, you're hitting that one. And you've just got to believe in all this stuff. Like believe that you're going to hit that one. Believe that you're going to get through that. Believe that you're going to conquer that challenge. Believe that you're going to get through that wall. Because unfortunately in this world, and I know it sounds like a rude thing to say, but there's a lot of, most people out there are so worried about what they're doing and their own things. Well, like if no one's going to believe in you, you may as well, like, because no one's coming to save you. If you have a mission or a goal or something you want, no one's coming to save you. I was fortunate, like with me and Liam in Shared Minds, we had each other to lean on, but no one was coming to save us. Like no one was coming with handouts. We didn't have guests turning up and going, we want to help you. We want to benefit the show. Even to this day, there's a shelf that's going to be filled here one day with atlases for people that promised us the world but gave us an atlas. So because there was a lot of people who just said, yeah, I'll help, but they never did. So no one's going to believe in you, so you have to be the one to believe in yourself. And you've got to find that thing that you believe about more than anything. So when you were a kid, remember like when you were 6, 7, 8 years old and people used to come up to you and go, what do you want to be when you grow up? You always had an answer, right? Because everyone has a dream. Everyone in this world has a dream, but a lot of people have just forgotten what that dream was. And if you don't have a dream, you haven't dived deep enough to find out. So I remember when I was younger, I was maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that age. I can't remember the exact specifics of it. But I remember my dad used to pick me up from school every day, and me, my brother and my dad, we used to watch reruns of Frasier. And at the time, I absolutely loved that show. Well, to be honest, I still do. It's one of my favorite TV shows to this day. I still watch it on repeat. And Fraser Crane, Dr. Fraser Crane, was a radio psychiatrist. And he had people that would ring up with problems and issues and things that they were going through in life. And Fraser just used the power of words just to help them through. He never made them do anything. He never pushed them to do anything. He always suggested things that, so like when they would speak their problems, he would listen, he would understand, and he would tell them, I think this is the solution for that. And I remember being that age, looking at him and going, oh man, he lives such a cool life. I'd love to live a life like that one day. And look at me now. I know it's a realization I only had a little while ago that I've gone, wow, I'm now living the life that as a child I always wanted to. So if you've got a dream out there or something, do your inner child a service and at least follow it or try and drive it. So, and then have belief in that, because again, like I believed so heavily in it because in my mind, I'd seen it for so long. So all I'm trying to say today is I wanted to keep this one a brief, more of an introduction and about belief, because sometimes belief is all we have. You've got to go out there and you have to believe in solely what you're doing, because let's say, for example, if you build a house, right? And you've got this foundation in the house, but you don't believe that the foundation that you've built on that house is 100%. Like, just imagine your contractor comes up to you and you go, oh, that foundation doesn't look very good. And he goes, oh yeah, it should be okay. And then he walks off. You'd go, I'm not living in that house. It's dangerous. It's going to collapse. It's going to fall over. If you looked at the foundation and went, oh, I don't know about the foundation. And the guy come up and goes, no, that is good. That foundation will stand the test of time. That foundation will fight cyclones, tsunamis, winds, fires. And I can guarantee you that house will still be fucking standing there. You'd go, okay, I'm going to move in. Why? Because his belief. He had belief in himself. And I think that's another thing that I love about belief is when you find someone who has infectious belief in something. I just said it in the word, infectious. When you find someone who believes in something so much, it can't help but inspire you to go, well, if he can believe in something so strongly, so can I. That's another thing that me and Liam do this show for, is we want to be beacons of hope to people, to see that they can follow a ridiculous dream that everyone told them is ridiculous and don't do that and there's no money in that. And do you really think that this is going to take off, and why would you leave your jobs? Yes, there's going to be hard times, and there is hard times. Me and Liam have more hard days than good days, if I'm being completely honest. But by sheer belief that this show was going to be everything that we created, we were able to meet Osher Günsberg, one of Australia's most recognised celebrities, who is an incredibly hard man to get a hold of. Jim Penman, the CEO of Jim's Mowing, Australia's largest franchise. We flew to Melbourne and we met him. And then the countless other opportunities, people we've met, things that we wouldn't be able to do if we half-assed it. And we said so many times, we're at 11 million views for the last 30 days as of point of recording this. We know 100% without a slither of lie that if we hadn't believed 100% in this, it probably would have fizzled out and died. But yeah, belief, people. Ted Lasso's big on belief, and I'm big on Ted Lasso. You'll hear me talk about a lot about Ted Lasso in this show, just because I think the man's an absolute legend in his field and the infectious belief that I was talking about. But yeah, belief. Well, look, that was my first episode. I know that usually the first of anything isn't good, but this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I just thought there's people out there who will need to hear this kind of stuff. And it's, again, a topic that I'll touch on later. If you sit and wait for the perfect time, or you worry about it not being good, you're never going to get it done. So I just thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And I'll learn as I grow. I don't do them solo. I'm always good at bouncing off people. For me, this was very uncomfortable. I got very nervous at the start to do it. I spent way too long writing down what I was going to say. I had about 25 pages of notes and I did half of it. So yeah, if you love this little series, Shared Minds Mini, please let me know. I've drafted another 12 that I could do. But yeah, please, if you listen to them and you really like them, or you find something from it, or you want me to recap guests and updates, please let me know, as that's the only way that we know if we're doing something right in the podcasting world. So thank you, everyone. Believe 100% in what you're doing. Love yous.